I'm Dave Gorman. I'm a poet. That means I deal in the written word. So if you're going to heckle me, don't bother. Write it down and give it me later. Said that the other day and I got these. Bit of a disappointment. It's not as bad as it looks, though, because most of them are from the same person. I recognise the handwriting. I would do it, it's my mother's. If you're watching tonight, Mum, you can't spell bastard. And I personally thought it was a rather hurtful way of letting me know. I am a poet, so I'm going to be reading some poems. I'm going to be reading from my book, which is called Buy the T-shirt. I'll point out my T-shirt. It's called Buy the Book. One day, when I was on holiday, I thought I was in heaven, but I wasn't. I was in Devon. That's poets for you. I shouldn't actually be advertising the book, which is available in the foyer. But I shouldn't, because they asked me not to advertise, and I like to play by the rules. I suppose you could say I like to do things by the book. It is actually in the rules, as a poet, I've got to do something about love, so I will do. This is called Bedtime Stories. Do you remember that time? After making love, when I sat up as if to go, and you said, no, don't go. Let's just lie for a while. And I nodded. And then told you that I was, in fact, Lord Lucan. And that I had spent the last 10 years compiling crosswords in Peru. And you said, when I said let's just lie for a while, I didn't mean tell fibs. Ta. You'll notice like, they don't rhyme much. People come up to me, they say that's not poetry, it doesn't even rhyme. Same sort of people who say metaphors are shit and don't realise I just used a metaphor. I thought I'd do something specially for them. It's a children's poem. It's called Veronica, a moral poem for children. Veronica Mary Applewhite, a girl for whom nothing was quite right, and what is worse, she found delight in always being most impolite. One day she did not like her food and flew into an awful mood and started being very crude, saying bottom, burp, and words so rude that I killed her. I don't think I quite got the hang of it. A bit abrupt or something, I don't know. I should have time for one more poem, I think. I'll do a poem that I don't normally do until I've whipped an audience up into a frenzy. So you can imagine I don't normally do this one. Do it tonight anyway, eh? It's called Looking Back at Talking Back. One day, when I was in Junior 3, I was sat, leaning back on my chair so that only 2 legs touched the ground. Teacher was very angry. She said, one day, when you're doing that, the chair will slip and you will crack your head open on the radiator. I responded quickly, saying, one day, you will crash your car and die a slow and painful death as a result of internal injuries. Teacher was silenced by both the speed and wit of my response, and I was most amused, until my chair slipped, and I fell, cracking my head open on the radiator. That's all I've got time for. Before I go, I'd just like to say, you've been lovely. Thanks a lot, and good night.
Hello. Dave Gorman, ladies and gentlemen, the Cardigan King of Comedy. And now we're going to take a break. During the interval, Dave has got some books for sale. They're £1.50, unless you've got an equity card, and then they're £1.50, darling. So we'll take a break now. We'll see you soon, right? And then I said, what's that? Cash and karaoke.
Look at Normal. He loves to get close to the axe. I think he's got this theory you can get talent through osmosis.